Shalom Aqua. This video is about, I'm excited because this one is about how Yahweh and Yahushai want as women of Israel, as Israelite women to dress, and how the devil actually brainwashes you to dress the way that you're dressing today. So this might ruffle a lot of ladies' feathers, but you know, it is what it is. Let's just get straight to it. So if you really knew and understood how precious, how special, and how important you are, like how Yahweh and Yahushai took you, viewed you, looked at you, loved you, cared for you, you wouldn't be dressing the way you are today. And you know, you got to remember that your body is also a temple. It is the home that you reside in that Yahweh gave you. So with that being said, you are His. And that is why it's so important every step you take in your everyday life. Like where you go, what you eat, what you listen to, the people you're around, what you drink. Everything you do, everything matters because everything is spiritual. So, you know, that is why you have to let Yahweh and Yahushai guide you every step you take every day. And I'm going to use myself as an example, and I will be posting pictures so you can see what I'm talking about. But yeah, the photos I post, you know, were of when I was at living a life of sin. And I was literally letting my fake friends and my blood relatives be energy drainers off of me. And in order for me to be around them, you know, I had to have a lifestyle of sin. And I was also, at that time, being a promo girl for alcohol brands. So I was, you know, dressing provocative for those events too as well. But every day that I dressed like in these photos, you know, it really tore me more and more and ate at me. It tore me every day because my spirit knew it wasn't right. You know, and the way I dressed in these photos is, you know, how many females dress today. And, you know, ass out, boobs out, belly out, booty cheeks showing. Even little girls are being dressed this way by their parents, and it's so disgusting, and it's very heartbreaking, you know, that even parents are choosing to dress their girls this way. So it's disgusting, and you know what? It's also proof that our people have been colonized too from our enemies' nations, and you know, because this way of dressing, it's not the traits of how our Israelite women dressed originally. It's not meek, it's not humble, it's not beautiful, it's not modest, it's not how Sarah, Esther, Judith, Mary, etc., how Israelite women dressed in the Bible. And only the enemies that conquered us enforced these ways of dressing this way. They enforce that onto us throughout life, you know, and it's also called Hellenization. If you look up in 2 Maccabees chapter 4, Daniel chapter 8, verses 9 through 14 also talk about it. It forecasts Hellenization. So this is like a legit historical thing. And so it really goes deep, you know, and the way you're dressing is proof of our people being conquered. So that's another point I wanted to bring about. It's way more than what people think it is, you know. And you also know it's the devil because it's the opposite of how Yahweh and Yahushai say to dress. And a little side note I want to talk about is, you know, true men of Yahweh, like true Israelite men, they love the way a true biblical Israelite woman dresses because it's royalty style, and it also shows that she's led by the true father and Big Gok. So how does one dress? Let's go over it for ladies. You're gonna go to Numbers. One second. All right. So you're gonna go to Numbers, and it's chapter 15. So let me flip there. And it's going to be verses 37 through 41. And the Lord Yahweh spoke unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations, and that they put upon them the fringe of the borders as a ribbon of blue. And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it, and remember all the commandments of the Lord Yahweh, and do them, and that ye seek not after your own heart and your own eyes, after which ye used to go a whoring, that ye may remember and do all my commandments and be holy unto your God Yahweh. I am the Lord your Yahweh, which brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God Yahweh. I am the Lord your Yahweh. So that's the first one about fringes. There's one more I want to go over, and it's in Deuteronomy. And it is chapter 22. And it's going to be verse 12. Thou shalt make fringes upon the four quarters of thy vesture wherewith thou coverest thyself. So with that being said, and I want to show you mine too, because I do my own fringes. All right. On all my garments, because that's how we're supposed to dress. But there's no excuse. So I don't want to hear anyone saying, oh, I don't know how to sew, or I don't know where to get those, or I don't have to get rid, now I have to get rid of all my clothes. I don't have any money. Number one, that's poverty mindset, and that's not the mindset that our true Father wants. So that's not what Yahweh wants for us. So we shouldn't be having that mindset at all. And number two, let me tell you something. When I first came into the truth on the fringes and the border of the blue, I had no clue on how to do it. I didn't have any knowledge on where to start. I never sewed before, but guess what? I bought myself a sewing machine, and guess what? I looked up YouTube videos online, and that's how I learned how to sew. So, I learned that way. And keep in mind, even I was struggling at this time financially, trying to figure out how to pay rent. But I knew how should I say this? I knew how serious it was to wear the right garments that the Most High Yahweh commanded. And I take Yahweh very serious. And, he takes us very serious. So for once, I didn't stress about money and investing and all this, because I trusted Yahweh. And Yahweh Shai, I'm providing, and they always provide. So the second point I want to go over about biblically, what it says about fabrics and things like that, is Deuteronomy, and it's 22, and it's verse 11. So it's actually the one before I just read you. It says, thou shalt not wear a garment of diverse sorts, as of woolen and linen together. And then I want you to go back to Leviticus, and it's 19, verse 19. Ye shall keep my statutes. Thou shalt not let thy cattle gender with a diverse kind. Thou shalt not sow thy field with mingled seed, neither shall a garment mingled of linen and woolen come upon thee. And another common mixed fabric that is in today's society is polyester. So, good fabrics are like linen, cotton, wool, silk, things like that. And then another verse I want to read to you is why it matters what you're wearing, okay? And this is the biblical, it's tied to the book of Zephaniah. So go to Zephaniah, that's still in the Old Testament. And it's the first chapter of Zephaniah, verse 8. And it shall come to pass in the day of the Lord Yahweh's sacrifice that I will punish the princes and the king's children and all such as are clothed with strange apparel. With strange apparel. So enough being said, I know you're smart. You can comprehend that one. But that's very important. And the last one I want to talk about is, it's not, actually I think I have two more points. But I want you to go to Ecclesiastes, and it's chapter 12. And it's also verse 12 or 13. 13. Okay, so Ecclesiastes 12, verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yahweh and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. I'm going to say it one more time. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yahweh and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. So it is your purpose and duty to, let me repeat that. It is your purpose and duty to fear God Yahweh and to keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. So that is your purpose. So if you're not following his commandments, dressing how he says to dress, you truly do not fear him. And that's something you really got to think about. Because like I said, he doesn't take us lightly, and we shouldn't take him lightly. So to wrap it up on the last point is how women should also have their head covered. And I want you to go to New Testament. It's at 1 Corinthians. And it is chapter 11. And it's going to be quite a few. It's verses 2 through 16. And it says, "Now I praise you, brethren, that you remember me in all things and keep the ordinances as I delivered them to you. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ, Yahushai, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of the Christ, Yahushai, is God, Yahweh. Every man praying or prophesying, having his head covered, dishonoreth his head. But every woman that prayeth or prophesieth with her head uncovered, dishonoreth her head, for that is even all one as if she was shaven. For if the woman be not covered, let her also be shorn. But if it be a shame for a woman to be shorn or shaven, let her be covered. For a man indeed ought not to cover his head, for as much as he is the image and glory of God Yahweh. But the woman is the glory of the man. For the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man. For this cause ought the woman to have power on her head because of the angels. Nevertheless, neither is the man without the woman, neither the woman without the man in the Lord Yahweh. For as the woman is of the man, even so is the man also by the woman, but all things of Yahweh. Judge in yourselves, is it comely that a woman pray unto Yahweh uncovered? Doth not even nature itself teach you that if a man have long hair, it is a shame unto him? But if a woman have long hair, it is a glory to her, for her hair is given her for a covering. But if any man seem to be contentious, we have no such custom, neither the churches of Yahweh." All right, so this explains how it's defined as a physical submission to Yahweh's created order. All right, so even as a woman of Yahweh and Yahushai, if you are not even if you like say you don't even have a husband yet, your head should still be covered, because that's symbolizing that your head is covered by Yahweh and Yahushai, and that you're being led by them. So I always like to point that out, because some women use that as an excuse. And, as a woman of Yahweh and Yahushai, we are to be in constant prayer and speaking with our Father and our Big Ak. So it's not just sometimes having your head covered. You got to make sure you come to Papa correctly. All right. So, and I'll go over a few more verses about that. 1 second. All right. So the next one I want you to do is 1 Thessalonians, and that's chapter 5. And it is verse 17. Only 3 words, all right? Pray without ceasing. Pray without ceasing. All right? And then I want you to go back to Colossians. And it's going to be chapter 4, and it's verse 2. Continue in prayer and watch in the same with thanksgiving. So another one, continuously being in prayer. The next one is in Ephesians, and I think it's chapter 6. Chapter 6, verse 18. Praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, the Ruach, and watch thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints. The other one is Romans, and it's chapter 12, verse 12. The numbers. All right. Romans 12, verse 12 says, rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, continuing instant in prayer. So this is on you, Agua. You know, are you set apart? Do you fear Yahweh? Are you keeping His commandments? This is stuff you really got to ask yourself and consider. And I just want to point out, for me, like, I am so honored to dress for Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, and I am so blessed, and I'm so thankful that my true father and Big Ak woke me up to this lifestyle and how to be living the right way. And I love living for them, and I love being a daddy's girl. So it just means so much. And the other thing I want to point out too before I end this video is, when you change even this with how you dress, how you present yourself, with your head, wearing the right garments, the fringes, everything, when you make that life change, your whole life changes. And what I mean by is, people in public, when you're around people, they handle you different, and it's a spiritual thing. You can tell, because little children will handle you differently. They will come to you, like I said, it's a spiritual thing. Especially children, they're more tied and more awoken and in tune with the spiritual side of the physical realm. Like, you'll see a difference even in little kids. You'll see how men handle you differently, even just people who work at the stores. Like, your life fully changes with how people treat you, and it's because you're coming correctly. You're doing the right thing. So you will see that change. It's awesome, and it's so, I don't know. It just truly is a blessing. So I'm gonna leave it there for you ladies. Yeah, stay tuned for the next video. Shalom.
To make you or break you. Can't be soft-hearted, I had to learn me your balance. Came with no guidance, I went through my trials, now I'm PC and salad. What you mean? I'm royal, it's all in my jeans. I never lose me, it's all in my greens. Determined, can't stop them on knee. If you slothful, can't rock them on speed. Go more solo, good in the team. Still keep the law to the best. Love you like I love myself, no grudges. It's all but respect. Growth is levels to it, but work on you, not all in your chest. Truth is truth, your false is just your loss. More like cause and effect. Boss up, I had to get in my books, now I'm building. Feeling all good, so I'm classy. Boom, no shots, just leveled up. Exercise, pinks and veggies. I had to get out my feelings and bag on business, cause shit to get messy. Back on my investments, I still do shirts in my dresses. Black Wall Street, imagine our people focused in that tit. They hollering, they ready, but I say now we get ready. Eat healthy, start planning. It's what I hear, we don't question. Eat raw fruits, organic, eat healthy, that's a commandment. 1, 2, 3, 4. Level up. 1, yeah, 2, 3, 4. Level up. 1, yeah, 2, yeah, 4. Level up. 1, 2, yeah, 3, 4. 1, yeah, 2, 3, 4. Level up. 1, yeah, 2, 3, 4. Level up. 1, yeah, 2, 3, 4. Level up. 1, yeah, 2, yeah, 3, 4. Level up. 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 Level up.